you are void of purpose, you find significance in the insignificant. I'll say that again. When you are void of purpose, you will find significance in the insignificant. You know, oftentimes I've found myself in the past filling up life with nothing but chaos. And what I mean by chaos is busyness. It's the busyness that I can easily fill up time with that really doesn't move me in a direction. It really doesn't take me to results land. It doesn't actually add anything to the day, but it sure does feel like I've accomplished something. It sure does feel like I've done enough, like to literally get done with the day, sit down in a chair and go, man, I just had one of those days. And if one were to look at that day, which I started to ask questions of, if one were to look at that day and actually realize that it was nothing more than just chaos, nothing more than just busyness that filled no purpose other than being busy. And for me, for decades, I would find significance in insignificant things. I would find this significance in helping other people's purpose, other people's direction, other people's, and even worse yet, organizations' direction, and fulfilling everything but myself. You see, it's human nature and a human desire to be able to feel like you're on purpose. It is human nature. You have a burning desire in your heart to fill a void, which for some can be filled with purpose, and for others it can be filled with chaos. This is like eating. You could actually open your mouth and fill it with amazing foods that add to your body, meaning that add life, like incredible greens. We talk about green drink all the time, incredible greens, incredible foods. Or you could fill it with stuff. Fast food, which is stuff, food stuff. It's like, it just stuffs you, gives you this feeling of being satiated, like, I met that need, only to be hungry again, and only to never have the nutrients necessary to sustain life. Yet, at the moment that we do it, we have this feeling that it's like, I'm good. I met this need. Yet on a bigger aspect of life, your heart has the same desire to be on purpose. And that purpose is driving a direction. It literally has to go a direction. Now, you could get spiritual with this and ask some of the questions, which you should. But our heart yearns to what? Our heart yearns to be close to people. It yearns to be close to our likeness, to the Creator, to the one that put the purpose there. But oftentimes we fill it with things that do not advance that movement. Nothing that's measurable. Like at the end of the day, there's no difference that could be measurable. Put in the aspects of trying to move something, a big block, and you work all day, and then you break out the tape measure and it's like it didn't move. And what have you consider today is that most of what you consider being on purpose is nothing more than chaos and busyness that does not move your life in a direction at all. It does not advance. It does not expand. It doesn't add to your body. It doesn't add to your spirituality. It doesn't advance a relationship. It doesn't expand your bank account. Yet you are finding significance here because you've never really asked the question of what purpose could be. Like, why am I here? What is my purpose? To shed the layers of concrete that you've put over your heart because you've ignored that purpose. But you fill it up. You fill it up with all sorts of stuff. You put layer after layer after layer after that burning desire because you didn't have the skill set, if you will, or the questions to ask yourself at a deeper level that is just really, truly what I desire. There's going to be a tip and a trick in this. But this is why people sit on boards. I've often reveled at the concept of, do you sit on a board? Because that's what we do on boards. And I've been parts of them. I've been directors of boards and boards upon boards. And boards serve a purpose in the aspect of advising the entity, but oftentimes they get so big and expansive, just like Washington, they go nowhere. They spin around in circles, never to advance, but boy, they create some chaos. It's like the Tasmanian devil spinning around. It's like, whoa, look at all that. Oh, it's kind of fun to watch. But at the end of the day, nothing got advanced. There was no direction. There was no change. There was no advancement. And this is what happens. We sit on boards instead of run with a board. We sit in congregations on Sundays and talk about the way it should be. You ever want a good read? It's called The Hole in the Gospel. The hole in the gospel was movement. It was outside of the church that actually really mattered. But people found purpose in showing up every Sunday sitting in a seat next to people that put on masks in front of a pastor that has more problems than you. And we seek significance there. And worse yet, people can spend a lifetime in this, never asking the bigger question, never actually stepping back and looking at a bigger view of all of this to say, is this really what this is all about? And so you guessed it, your challenge today is ask the bigger questions. Is what I do and what I fill my time up with, where I put my resources, my money, my energy, my desires, my faith, is it worth what I'm doing? Am I advancing towards my purpose? I think what many of you will find, probably just like I did, is that, holy crap, I don't even know what my purpose may be. And that's okay. Because if you're listening to this right now, it's shocked you out of the fact of like, yeah, I don't really think any of that I do is really advancing anything. And the question you have to ask yourself, is it advancing for you? Some of you may do, well, that's very selfish. No. You can do a lot of things for a community. You can advance a community, and that's fine. But most people that are advancing their community have taken care of themselves. The only way that they can actually take care of other people and lead other people is because they first started with themselves. And so I'm going to ask you the question that, are you on purpose for yourself? Everything that you do, does it serve you and your family at a level that takes care of them, advances them, and puts you in a better place on a daily basis? And if not, if you can't say that all that I do on a daily basis feeds my family, feeds myself, then the next logical question is, why are you doing it? Now let's look at this. For instance, in body. People will fill their lives up in their body chasing the weight loss game. It is fun because it actually has a lot of chaos with it. It has a lot of busyness with it. And we start to fill up insignificance in our lives with chasing weight loss. That doesn't have a lot of purpose. And I'm rocking some of your worlds right now. It has actually no purpose. unless you put purpose to it. And in fact, weight loss should be nothing more than the side effect, but you can't see through that because you've been triggered on a certain picture of what your body should look like, and you think it comes in the form of weight loss. Even worse yet, you think it comes in the form of fat loss. And so you spend a life of trying to diet and exercise, trying to obtain this. In contrast, let me give you an example of what a purpose-driven body might sound like, and maybe even look like. Is that exercise and movement is a part of me. The way I eat is just a part of me because it serves my greater purpose of what I need to do on a daily basis. I am all about family. If I can't throw a ball with my kid, if I can't get down on my hands and knees and wrestle, if I can't actually walk through Vienna, Austria with my family, then my body is no longer serving me. So I will exercise and eat well on a daily basis because it serves me and my family. I will eat well and take care of my body so I can work and provide and actually get a paycheck for my family. Do you see the drastic difference? It's the same thing in spirituality. My purpose is to get closer in approach, not just in nearness, but my purpose is to get closer to my likeness. That everything that I do in my spirituality drives me to the direction of actually getting closer and enjoying the approach to getting closer to that likeness. And I seek that on a daily basis. Or I sit in a congregation on a Sunday and have somebody else tell me how it is. I actually let somebody else guide me spiritually in what their perceptions of some old dead men's scriptures actually is. Versus actually hearing and seeing and feeling the truths on a daily basis from the one that created you. There's huge purpose in both of these examples. And there's huge amount of insignificance and busyness and chaos that you can fill your heart with. You see, every single aspect of life is either purpose-driven or it's chaos-driven. It's either found with significant direction or we turn the insignificant into our significance. So step one for you today is to ask the bigger questions of what am I doing all of this for? How many of you have stayed in a job before, worked a job that never provided, didn't meet your bills, and you just said, oh my gosh, I got to cut my bills. I'm not making it. The chaos that would ensue is to stay there versus actually finding a job that fulfills a purpose, fulfills the needs that you and your family have. Your needs of your family expand as you have kids, and those desires of your family start to expand. And if you're not changing in your workplace to actually meet those needs, you're finding significance in the insignificant. You're not asking the bigger question of purpose. Why am I doing what am I doing? In your workouts, your exercise, and your body, and your spirituality, and your relationships is a huge one. Why am I with this person? Do they add to my life? Do I get something out of them on a daily basis? If you're that person that's not adding to somebody's life, you need to ask that question. What am I bringing to the table in this relationship? If I have nothing to offer, maybe I need to get back on purpose and figure out what I can bring to the table in this scenario. So the tip and the trick today is to ask the bigger question and then fill that gap. If you start digging that gap out, meaning, oh my gosh, this doesn't serve you, and you create this huge Grand Canyon of space of what you could fill it up with. The next step is to ask every aspect of everything that you do, does this serve my purpose? If it does, it plugs in. But if I need to sit in the chaos of a board for 2.5 hours, spinning around and not getting anywhere with life, that may not serve my purpose. And it may not serve the people that I lead. And living on purpose is where fire, is where passion, It's where the essence of life exists. And so your tip in the trick today is to question purpose, to question everything that you do in your body, in your relationships, in your spirituality, in your workplace. And ask the questions, does it serve me? And if not, start filling it up with life. That's all I got for you today. And love and light, bringing truth every single day. Talk to you.